Poverty, crunched by numbers and culture. Our thesis is, poverty should be measured by an absolute standard, a revised version of the OPM that is more compatible with the quality of life seen today in American society, with relative measures used as a check and balance system to avoid any demographic or circumstance being overlooked. In addition to these measures, we propose adding a measurement of one's distance from the threshold and their capabilities. In our culture, we tend to associate poverty with being poor or deprived. However, the concept of poverty is far more severe. When someone is impoverished, they lack the ability to be a mobile member of society. In relation to this idea, one's capabilities or capacity of what you can do and be are essentially not met by society when living in poverty. This social take on poverty differs greatly from that of the government. From an official standpoint, poverty is seen more as having insufficient resources, which then places you on a spectrum below the given poverty line. The ever-changing notion of poverty is accurately captured by Amartya in his text, Inequality, Reexamined, on page 107, when he says, "While the term poverty is used in rather different ways, there are some clear associations that constrain the concept, and we are not entirely free to characterize poverty in the way we like." This explanation demonstrates the various societal and governmental restraints on the term of poverty and its various associations and connotations in our daily lives. There are two major methods of determining poverty in the United States: the official poverty measure, OPM, and the supplemental poverty measure, SPM. Both systems measure resources in determining where citizens fall in terms of the poverty line. The OPM, developed by Maliar Shanky, is the method used from a governmental standard and incorporates the poverty threshold, which is essentially the amount of money spent on food for a family of four scaled down to the cheapest plan. This number is calculated by adjusting the original number for inflation by multiplying it by 3, converting this number to a dollar amount, and finally considering family size. On the other hand, the SPM is a more adjustable method in which household expenditures are initially analyzed, then graphed and surveyed for the 33rd percentile, and then finally a small amount is added to that number to better calculate the poverty threshold. The SPM includes many factors like cash income, government assistance, tax transfers, food, clothing, shelter, utilities, and other factors. In addition, the SPM also subtracts taxes, work-related transportation, and child care expenses from one's income for a more accurate calculation. There are many advantages and disadvantages of the official poverty measure. However, it is not necessarily favored due to the various inconveniences associated with this method. Primarily, the OPM is an older model with which there are decades' worth of data that can be used to analyze trends and compare today's current numbers. However, being an absolute measure means that the OPM cannot be adjusted and therefore is stuck with calculating strictly related family members and is strict to its baseline of a family of 4. In addition, the official poverty measure does not assess the amount or degree of inequality below the poverty line, but rather just divides society between those that are impoverished and those that are not. Similarly, there are many advantages and disadvantages of the supplemental poverty measure. As a quasi-relative measure, the SPM sets the poverty threshold at the actual amount that everyone is spending. Therefore, it is adjustable and considers many factors in determining one's status in regard to the poverty threshold. As previously mentioned, some of these factors considered are cash income, governmental assistance, and tax transfers. In addition, one's geographical location will also be considered in determining their status in regard to SPM. It is evident that the SPM tries to include and evaluate all relevant social issues in order to determine the most accurate calculation of poverty in America. However, it is difficult to truly encompass all social issues into a system that works effectively. Because of this, the supplemental poverty measure is not the method used officially by the United States government.